New York Fashion Week is really hectic, always chaotic, but something about this season was really exciting. Let me take you through this season compared to the previous seasons that we've done as a brand. Our first collection that we came out with was the Protect Black People collection. The business started to just really take off in a space that was something that I could never have dreamed of. Season 4, this was last year in September, we were introduced to RAISEFashion. We were stepping outside of doing the showroom to do a showcase and then also like a display as if it's set into a retailer. For those that don't know, my name is Blake Van Putten, CEO and founder of SICE. I got a start to my brand back in 2020 when the murder of George Floyd happened. We as a company wanted to pivot from an agency. We were creating apparel for different businesses, and as we started to build the brand out, we wanted to position it in a space where we were working directly with consumers, and with the consumers we were donating different proceeds that we were making from collections to different nonprofit organizations that were helping uplift and celebrate the Black community. With that being said, our first collection that we came out with was the Protect Black People collection. We donated to an organization called Anti-Racism Fund. With all the proceeds on that, the business started to just really take off in a space that was something that I could never have dreamed of. It was just a passion project that turned into something larger than I could even think of to this day. I'm very, very grateful for it. I think that there have been a lot of learning lessons from it, from having the experience of building out these different collections, building out different companies, helping other businesses out. I wanted to give back in a meaningful way that we would really feel appreciated, but it wasn't from the lens of trying to get other people to do the exact same thing. It was just like my form of individualism and my form of contribution with what I have equipped to give back to the community that's around us. So we got our start over in 2020. We came out with our first collection. The collection started to grow, and then everything that we came out with, since that was the presidential election that happened, anything that considered a special message or anything that's considered a political message, we're not able to run any type of paid advertisements. So with that being said, anytime we would come out with a new collection, we couldn't promote it in a space where you put money towards an advertisement to get other people to see it. So everything from our brand has been super organic. When it came down to celebrity placements, celebrity gifting, or anything like that, none of that was existent with our brand. It was actually a lot of the celebrities that were purchasing the items purchase it themselves, or their friends gave it to them, or anything like that. That community aspect was so revolutionary, not only from the front of just people purchasing and being involved within the community, but it was just like a time where everybody saw our collection and had their own contribution in their own type of way. Started building different collections out, and we were selling everything out whenever anything would come out, and we were able to donate and just appreciate the organizations that are around us. We've to date donated over $80,000 in monetary donations, over $60,000 in product to different nonprofit organizations, and have been really strong within the community that's around us. In 2021, that's when we got our start, and that's when we got our start to being in New York Fashion Week, the first New York Fashion Week that we were in. We worked with our PR team, and with our PR team, we were asked to participate in a showroom with New York Fashion Week. New York Fashion Week took place in Spring Studios, where there's different like showcases, showrooms, and everything like that. Mainly shows that are going on. So it would be New York Fashion Week, the shows that were happening. And our introduction to the brand to the public was through New York Fashion Week, where we showcased our newest collection. And that was exciting because we also released our mobile application at the time. When we started to come out with our mobile application, I told them that we're in a space where we want to come out with something that's tech related, that gets people excited, gets people involved with our business. We just have to be mindful that if we do this, it needs to be something that's easy to digest as a company, and that's something that we wanted to take to heart and just take in a space where people are appreciative of the work that we do. So we worked with a company called Tapcart. With Tapcart, we launched our mobile application. It took us 2 weeks to develop, so it went really, really fast. It just integrated seamlessly through API within our mobile application. And that was our debut for New York Fashion Week. We showcased our collection, Protect Black People, Protect Black Women, our accomplishments with our business. That was something that was a highlight to us, to show the impact that we had at the time, show the events that people were really just rocking with us, and the involvement we had within the community. We talked about different organizations, and at this New York Fashion Week in the first season, it's a time for people to meet other stylists, meet other designers, meet other people. It's a really big melting pot where you're able to just have a really great community. So the first time I didn't know what to take in from it because I have never been and attended one, even though I lived in New York for several years before this. So when I was invited, I thought it was a full circle moment because that's something that I wanted to always do, is like come back to be part of something like that. Fast forward, we had an expansion in our product suite. We continued to grow as a business, and we were invited back to the showroom. With the showroom, we got to meet other amazing designers which case we got to work with. And that was the launch and release of our next collection, which was the expansion of our apparel and our Size capsule collection. With this Size capsule collection, we showcase that we're more than just handbags. We can create different types of apparel. We can create cargo pants. We can create these different items. And we also had a newest collection that I worked with a designer. She is a super phenomenal designer based out of New York. In New York, she does a lot of custom bespoke dresses, and she did a lot of costume design for different types of apparel and stuff. So with that being said, we came out with the first collection, the Size capsule collection, which was focused on escapism and really helping people think in a way of being able to have a new sense of reality while they're at home, right? During the pandemic, during everything that's happening, people are at home and people wanted to feel a way to get past that cabin fever. So being able to work with other designers in a space, that was the first time that I built out a cohesive collection. And then on top of the fact that working with another designer on somebody else who's conceptualizing the ideas that I had. I've always done like creative directing, and I've always done my own type of styling and design in itself. However, I have never worked with somebody in terms of like building out concepts and doing anything like that. So I feel like that was an introduction to the brand of Size beyond just handbags. And it was also the introduction to myself. The following season, we were invited to come back. And this was when we were doing a really large run of programming. With programming, we showcased an event over in Los Angeles right before we came out with this like newest collection that happened and everything like that. So during Black History Month, we came out with a capsule collection, did an exclusive partnership with Shopify in Los Angeles. At the time, they were over in downtown Los Angeles, and we were able to partner with 15 other Black-owned designers to open up a bazaar, showcase our different products, showcase our different suites, while allowing them to sell. They had their point of sale systems going up, and it was also during the time of Smorgasburg. So if you are in LA, or if you're in New York for that matter, Smorgasburg is a food festival, and people come down, try different types of foods. It's like just a food fest, and if you're a foodie, you would actually like it a lot. So I would definitely advise you to come check it out. But anyway, with that being said, we had the storefront, and it was on the corner in downtown Los Angeles. With that, you can look in the windows, and we would showcase our latest varsity jackets that would come out. So with the varsity jackets were an expansion with the business because we had come out with some items similar to this, but this is more so the unisex feel, and a lot of the items that we have created were more geared towards handbags, unisex pieces. It wasn't male focused. This opened up the first campaign that we did, which was the Miami Vice campaign. With this, we worked with different models, different actors within Los Angeles, but we just did a black on black collection for Black History Month. It was really exciting. We also came out with our turquoise bag, so focusing on different materials and stuff, which was patent leather, and just all in all, a really great celebration. Taking that up to New York Fashion Week, we came in debuting the items, showcasing the pieces, and then at the end of the New York Fashion Week, we showed that representation, and we sold out of that collection almost immediately. Fast forward to season 4, this was last year in September, we were introduced to RAISEFashion. Throughout the years, they were one of the first organizations we worked with when they worked with Anti-Racism Fund, but we were introduced to Raise, and I think that the part that was exciting for this was that we were stepping outside of doing the showroom to do a showcase, and then also like a display as if it's set into a retailer. A big thing with a company is companies will have incredibly large build outs, and those build outs will be focused either for consumers or it'll be focused for retailers. If you're consumer focused, you want to tend to the audience of people who are going to buy it on an everyday basis. But if you're working with retailers, you have to work with a retailer who is now selling to people who are buying on an everyday basis. So the setups are definitely different. With Raise, they helped us with our overall setups, they helped us with our business development, and they helped us with our structure on it. And that was a partnership which was located at the Standard in New York. With the Standard, they had two different setups. They had a setup downstairs and they had a setup upstairs. In that season, we showcased some of our newest collection. Our staple collection was downstairs in the gift shop at the Standard, where it was an introduction to the brand, a culmination of all of the different seasons that we had, while upstairs was a private shopping event where retailers would come in. But I was using that time to gather a lot of feedback that was going to help with the development of the business that we had. We recently came off of a designer stand. I was designing tons of pieces, but the pieces I was designing were individual pieces as opposed to like full cohesive collections. But during that show, I got a lot of feedback and we were able to update the designs and the development of what we were building out. So that gave me an indication to see that what is a different type of approach that businesses and other designers are doing. People that are already in sale, that are already in these different stores, have different accounts from Saks, Neiman, Nordstrom, Macy's, Essence, Dover Street Market, any of these really great places that people go to, Kith. There's tons of stuff that happens. So we were able to build out our collection of what retailers do we actually see ourselves wanting to be in, because you can be in a retailer, but it doesn't have to be the largest one in the world. You can get into a local boutique. That local boutique could be the biggest thing for you. Our largest market is in Brooklyn, New York. So imagine being in a Saks in, I don't know, a state like Texas, and then your target audience is over in New York. So if you were to be in a smaller boutique in Brooklyn that has an audience that's targeted towards you more, compared to being in like a larger named company like Saks in a state that may not have as high of a market reach to you, you've got to think about, does that even mean anything? People are so big with chasing names that they don't think of the reason why they want to be involved in it. So I think that was important to think about, like our brand positioning, think of different ways that we wanted to be involved and see ourselves with the retailers. This was the current season, so we just came back last week. New York Fashion Week was a really great time. We showcased the updates to the designs. We came back with a full lookbook, full line sheets, everything ready to go for our business. And it was something that I wanted to come across like swinging and hitting it out the park, getting into all these different retailers. But I learned that things needed to change for our business and things needed to take a step back to share that things weren't as we planned, and I needed to make adjustments so that way I can adjust the goals and continue to move forward. So my mindset completely shifted. If you're still tuned in with us right now, definitely make sure you like and subscribe this video. Continue to comment on anything that you've learned when you had to make adjustments, or if you realized that you needed to make some shifts and a change of plans that you've really been prepping for. So my overall mindset was that with this season, we were going to come in and very adequately be able to just sell to a whole bunch of different retailers and showcase from it. But I soon realized that as soon as I set everything up and everything that we'd worked for needed to be different. So I was connected with other designers. I'm very grateful for the designers I was connected with. I was connected with Kingsley. I was connected with Ashlyn Camps. I was connected with Charles Harbison for Harbison Studios. And just seeing what they had, their emotional aspects and their ways of focusing with art and design were so beautiful. And I wanted to ask them, and I'm like, what do you guys have? What are you focused on right now? And how is this showroom beneficial for you? And they're all focused on Market Week, and they're also focused on just really like meeting people and being around people. And I thought that was super interesting, because I think a lot of times that people are so calculated with how they're coming to the approach. Like, I need to meet these people. I need to be in those target retailers. All the things that I was thinking in my head about, like, these are the ones that I want to meet. Who am I excited to meet? That they didn't care, right? And because you can not necessarily have a focus to operate in a strategic way does not mean that it's not of importance to you. So if somebody came in from a retailer that's their target retailer and that's what they want, there's a difference between like planning and making your barometer of success and your barometer of enjoyment contingent on if that certain circumstance happens versus if you're just happy to be there, and if something like this happens, it means a lot to you and that you value that a lot more. So I was able to do that. I was also able to rediscover the art of design. Coming into that space and really seeing how other designers do it gave me a new sense of light on why I can appreciate the art that I've done, because as I was saying before, I was designing things piece by piece, brick by brick, instead of thinking of the full collection. Of the whole focus on our latest collection, CBY, are different bags, different personalities, different people. And I think these different archetypes of individuals are important. However, the way that it was designed, I needed to take a step back to readjust. And in the collection piece that I had different collections of about like 13 different items. It could be split into 3 different collections instead of it being like a full cohesive collection that people can understand the concept of it, that also marries between both my designing and the upcoming designs as well, right? So when you have a business and we're saying that our focus and our overall goal is to celebrate and uplift the Black community, how does a pink handbag relate to that? And the answer to that is that it really doesn't, if you were trying to tie all of that together. But I think that taking a step back to understand like what exactly is it, that if something doesn't have direct correlated messaging on it, that can still celebrate the Black community, and re-pivoting to think of the designs that we have. How can we structure it in a space where we're saying that like this gives that same emotion that celebrates the Black community, and that is through empowerment. The people that are wearing our items, the people that reach out to me, the people that are proud of me, the people that support me, they all feel empowered. They see these items, they see our brand, they wear them proudly, where you can be in the middle of nowhere with shirts that says Protect Black People on there and feel empowered. But you can also wear cargo pants and go through the most public area in the world and also feel empowered from that as well. So that feeling of empowerment still needed to correlate with the design aspect of where I am. So the overall idea was to be able to sell to these retailers, but I took the approach of improving our collection, and then when the collection is ready, going to the retailer like, hey, here's the improvements that we've made, we're ready. I wanted to say, let's take another step back. Let's just build those relationships. Those are retailers that we like and we'd appreciate being in. Let them know like, hey, we want to be in the retailer. However, things are going to perform better if we took a step back and we just repivot and readjust our expectations to really change it. So I got back home and I was really excited again. We're approaching our homecoming. I went to Howard University where I studied business, but with the fraternity that I'm part of, my line trusts in me to create the apparel for our jackets for this year. And I come up with a different couple concepts, but the concepts weren't hitting in a space where I felt like it was a cohesive story. So I really got to work, and I'm really excited what we're going to showcase. So I think that was like the start of everything, getting back into the design of like, let's do some photo shoots, let's do some planning. What does this look like for us? What does that growth look like? How can we continue to grow and build? So really make changes for growth. I think that a lot of times that when you come in and you have a set expectation, if the expectation is not met, then you are let down. If you're let down, you had a bad experience. But really make changes for growth, because who knows, that growth could be what's preventing you from being the best version of yourself, as opposed to if I did everything that was planned a certain way, I may have gotten a contract with the retailer, but it may have been a one and done, versus setting myself up in a space that says that if we took a step back, we're more structured, we're building things out, and we are in a space that says like this is us, that could be the key and solution to have many more seasons to come, on top of the fact that it also may not be. If that's not the solution as we release, if it doesn't have the expectation of trying to be the best version to sell out, but it's just trying to be the best version to like explain the situation of our business, explain and have a cohesive collection, and we get there and we are in these retailers, and then the retailers will then say to us like, hey, these are the changes that we need to make and this is the stuff that's different, then we're able to like start building things out and understand in a different way that we're able to grow as a company and continue to build to be the best version of ourselves. So I wanted to thank you all for being here. Comment below if there's anything that you've learned where you've had to adjust your expectations and your positioning to change it to be the better version of yourself, and what were some of the outcomes on it. If you like this video, share it with a friend, like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you for tuning in. I'm very excited for what this collection is going to have in the future. This New York Fashion Week felt so different, and I'm so blessed that everything about it is just so. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope to hear from you soon, and peace.